Jesus came upon a man born blind, a man who would sit and beg. The disciples asked, is he blind through sin or the sin of his parents? Neither, said Jesus, it happened so that the work of God could be seen. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world. Then he spat on the ground and made some mud and put it on the man's eyes. He said, go wash in the pool of Siloam, and he came home with his sight.
My dear friends, we are in the 4th Sunday of Lent. During the Second World War, John Howard Griffin was blinded in an explosion. In fact, it was an aeroplane explosion. For the next 12 years, he could not see anything. He was blind. Then one day, as he was walking a street near his parents' house in Texas, suddenly he began to see a red sand in front of his eyes. Without any warning, his eyesight returned again. He could see again. The eye specialist explained to him later that his blindness was caused by a blockage of blood to the optic nerve caused by the explosion. And now that blockage had opened up, causing his sight to return again. Griffin describes his experience in a book called Black Like Me, which was even made a movie later. My dear friends, the dramatic episode of Griffin life gives us a deeper appreciation of today's gospel, the story of a man born blind. It gives a better idea of how the man born blind felt when he was miraculously cured by Jesus. But there is a second miracle, a spiritual sight that the blind man received. My dear friends, the first thing we notice about the miracle is that it takes place gradually. For example, the man's first reaction to Jesus is that he is just a man, a remarkable man. When people asked him who cured him, who gave him the sight, he just says, there was a man who put some mud in my eyes and told me to go and wash at Sheol. And he did it and he could see. He explains that just a man. Secondly, the second perception of Jesus comes when he is questioned by the Pharisees. The Pharisees questioned him. You say Jesus cured you. What do you say about that man? The man replied, he is a prophet. So the second perception from being just a man now is a prophet. The more he thinks of Jesus, more convinced he is of Jesus. And the final perception is when Jesus meets him. Jesus looks straight in his eyes and says, do you believe in the Son of Man? The man answers, tell me who he is so that I can believe in him. Jesus responds, you have already seen him. He falls on his knees before Jesus and worships. That's the words of St. Paul, writing to Philippians chapter 2 verse 10, is so true. All beings in heaven and on earth will fall on their knees. That's so true when we see the blind man's gradual perception, gradual transformation in believing in Jesus. Yes, my dear friends, through baptism, we have received the gift of faith. The more we learn about Jesus, the greater he becomes. As we are in the fourth Sunday of Lent, let us examine how much do we know Jesus? How much do we know about Jesus? How much do we talk about Jesus? How much we tell our children about Jesus? Whether he is for us a remarkable man, whether he is a prophet, or is our personal savior, our friend. Ultimately, the question is, who is Jesus for us? Let us answer, my dear friends.